Hey, good morning. My name is Daryl Eatman, Examiner 4, and the host of today's Civil Service Commission meeting. Leanne Guzman, Project Coordinator, is our co-host. A few items I need to mention. If you are disconnected during this meeting, please click on your email or calendar invite to join the meeting again. Please keep yourself on mute until you are called upon. If you are using a phone, use *6 to mute or unmute yourself. Once the Civil Service Commission has addressed your agenda item, you may leave this meeting. We have a quorum of our commission members. At this time, I'd like to give the meeting to Michael Flickinger.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Civil Service Commission meeting for March 22nd, 2024. The first item on the agenda is the roll call, and we have commission members, India Pierce Lee.
Present.
And Cyrus L. Patton. Gregory Jordan is not in attendance today, and my name is Michael Flickinger, present. Council, Jason Schachner.
Present.
And Patricia Aston.
Present.
The Office of the Civil Service Commission staff, Rashawn Long.
Present.
Leanne Guzman.
Present.
Patricia Donovan. Daryl Eatman.
Present.
And Lila Abrams Fitzpatrick. The court reporter, Stephen Mellencamp. Mengelkamp, sorry.
That's okay.
Agenda guest, Adam Russell.
Present.
Michael
Present.
E. Bricker.
Present.
Alex Johnson.
Alex
Philip.
will be present today.
Philip Puzzateri.
Present.
Neil O'Donnell. David, is it Hilad?
Mr. Flickinger, Tom Hanfleck, I'm the attorney for Local 93 and also David Ladd.
Okay, thank you. Michael Search.
Present.
And
Vice
Kat
President with the
Houston.
CPPA.
Okay. And Kat Houston.
Present.
Is there anyone else that I did not name or list or spoke up?
Josie Herman from National Testing Network.
Anyone else?
Dr. Anthony Terrascavage from Cleveland Psychological Testing.
Agenda item number 2, accepting of today's agenda.
Motion to accept, Lee.
Second, Patton.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 2 is approved. Agenda item number 3, approval of the minutes from the March 8th, 2024 Civil Service Commission meeting.
Motion to approve, Patton.
Second, Lee.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 3 is approved. Agenda item number 4, approval of the routine matters.
Motion to approve, Lee.
Second, Patton.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 4 is approved. Agenda item number 5, consideration of the request from Adam Russell, firefighter candidate, to appeal the findings of a psychological assessment. And I would ask a question, do we need to go into executive for this?
Since it's a matter of talking about protected health information that is protected federal law, state law, I would recommend going into executive session for that purpose.
Is there a motion?
Motion
that
to
motion.
move to second.
Second, Patton.
Hearing a first and second. All those in favor?
Lee, I.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. We have approved a motion to go into executive session to review agenda item number 5.
Give me a moment and I will move everyone to the breakout room.
Mr. Flickinger, can you indicate which parties are going to be that are outside the commission in the executive session?
We have Adam Russell and any representation that he might want to be in that session.
That would be Dr. Tereskavich. You're assisting Mr. Russell?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did an independent evaluation of them. Yes, for the second
Okay.
opinion.
And then
Dr.
does the city have a representation other than the commission that would be in the session?
Dr. Bricker is representing the original findings or evaluations on Mr. Russell.
Is there anyone else from the city that should be in the session?
Okay, I will move the appropriate parties. Give me one moment, please. I believe everyone is here.
And just a reminder to everyone, if you wish to speak, commission members, when you go back in, it puts you on mute. That always catches me. For agenda item number 5, is there a motion to go back into the general session?
Motion to return to general session.
Second, Lee.
All those in favor?
Lee, I.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. For agenda item number 5, is there a motion? So for agenda item number 5, I'm not hearing any motion from the commission members. I'll make a motion to deny the request. Is there a second?
Second, Patton.
All those in favor?
Lee, I.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item 5 to deny the request is approved. Agenda item number 6. Consideration of the request from the Department of Public Safety for an order relative to David Elad, Patrol Officer, Division of Police, in accordance with Civil Service Rule 9.10, Section 14. Are all parties here? And secondly, do we need to go into executive session?
Mr. Flickinger, this is Tom Hanslak, Hanculak. I'm the attorney for Local 93, and firefighter Hlad asked me to appear for him for this particular hearing or meeting. With me today is President of Local 93, Fran Lally, and also the Treasurer, Sam DeVito. I'm not sure, and that would be probably a directive from your attorneys as to whether or not we're going to be discussing any healthcare that's protected or health items that are protected. For right now, I have no objections to moving forward as is.
Okay.
To the chair, if there's no objection, move to accept the request.
And I second. All those in favor?
Lee, I.
Agenda item number 6.
Lee, I.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 6 is approved.
I wanted to jump in really quick. This is Kat Houston, because I believe you had referred to him as a patrol officer initially when you introduced this item. So I just wanted to make sure the record was clear that he is a firefighter, as Mr. Hanselak indicated.
Oh, okay, that needs to be corrected in my agenda. So thank
And
you.
not go to executive session.
So I make the motion with the amendment as a firefighter, not patrol officer.
And I second that. Do we need to revote? All those
Lee,
in-
I.
Mr. Flickinger, if I could just interrupt, and I'm sorry, but again, I thought that the original motion was to whether or not the commission members were going to go into executive sessions.
Oh,
And I
okay.
indicated that probably didn't need to do that because we're not going to be discussing protected health care items.
Okay. So is there an objection to agenda item number 6?
So just for
So
clarification.
the
purposes,
question I think India asked, or that we need to know, if there's no objection, generally we would vote and go ahead and approve it. If there,
Guys, to interrupt, but I think we skipped one. So item number 6 is Lee Davis, I believe.
it's not on my agenda.
Or is that the new?
Patty, there was an amendment this morning. Jason, did you get that email?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just looking at the wrong agenda. You go ahead then.
So I
Let me
think
double
the
check.
question is, if there is an objection to this order, then we need to proceed. If there's no objection, then as a commission, we just approve it. So to the representation for Mr. Halad, do you want to review this and do you have any objections to this? If not, we'll proceed with that.
Yeah, we do have an objection to it, and I'd be willing to explain that to you if I can. Let me know when.
And I
Okay,
move to go to executive session.
I second that. All those in favor,
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. The motion to go in executive session is approved.
Give me a moment to stop recording and I will move the appropriate parties. And we are back on.
You're on mute, Michael.
Is there a motion to go back into general session?
Motion to go into general session.
Second, Flickinger. All those in favor,
Lee, aye.
Aye.
Flickinger, aye. The motion is approved to go back into the general session. In the general session for agenda item number 6, is there a motion?
Motion to deny the request as from the city and to go back to the Director of Public Service for further review to be revisited at a later date based on that review.
Second, Patton.
All those in favor,
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. The motion to deny the request is approved by the commission. I guess I would ask Rashawn or the staff of the commission to follow up with that request with the various parties or make certain that the various parties work with this item.
Will do.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is agenda item number 7. And if there's any corrections, let me know. But it's consideration of the request from the Department of Public Safety for an order relative to Michael Sertz, Patrol Officer, Division of Police, in accordance with Civil Service Rule 9.10, Section 14. My first question would be to Michael Sertz or representation. Are there any objections to this motion for the order?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then is there any other motion related to this from the commission?
To move to executive session.
Second, Flickinger. All those in favor?
Aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. That motion is approved. Darrell, can we go into executive session?
Absolutely. Let me stop recording. We are ready to begin.
Is there a motion to go back into the general session?
Motion to return to general session.
Lee,
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. We are now back in general session. Is there a motion for agenda item number 7?
Motion to approve the request.
Second, Patton.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 7, the consideration of the request is approved. Commission staff, do you have any comments you want to make related to this item?
The Office of the Civil Service Commission will communicate with you to schedule an appointment with you.
Agenda item number 8 and 9, and I know there was an email. Are we still proceeding with these?
Yes, we're proceeding with number 8 for Philip Pusateri.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So what's listed as 8 and 9 are removed. Is that correct? For Neil
Correct.
O'Donnell? So the next item on the agenda is item number, what's listed as item number 10, consideration of the fire promotional examination procedural protest from fire candidate Philip Pusateri. Are all parties here? Mr. Pusateri, if you can speak to your protest for the fire promotional examination procedure. And as I spoke before, you can speak up to 10 minutes on each side. And if you can provide the information, and then if the city can speak after that point. Thank you.
Mr. Flickinger, this is Patty. Just as a procedural matter, you did motion to table it last hearing at March 8th, so you would need to motion to untable it. Thank you.
Very good point. Is there a motion to untable it?
Motion to untable, Patton.
Secondly,
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. The motion to untable the request has been approved. So, Mr. Pusateri, if you can speak to your request to the commission.
So to recap, I am not protesting the test itself. I'm protesting that I was not provided the proper materials to prepare for the test. To give some insight to the commission on how the process works, the candidates for the battalion chief test were placed in the sequester room. We were then called to go into a prep room. As far as what to expect, we received a handout at the beginning of the testing process. On the first page of the handout, it references that you are not to bring any documents into your tactical assessment. This is in bold letters. The very next paragraph on the next page states that you will be provided pen, paper, and pencil, and can bring that material into the assessment. So it was unclear from the start as to exactly what we were going to be provided with for the test. When I entered the prep room to prepare for the tactical assessment, it was also unclear at that time how much time we would have. When I walked in the room, there were green sheets on the desk turned over. I took a seat at the desk. I was sitting in the front of in the room. All the other candidates, there was only 4 of us, were behind me. The proctor told us to turn over the instructional sheets. It had the instructions on there. And while the testing companies brought up that there was verbiage in the instructional sheet that if you were missing materials, put yourself in the candidate's place. We only had 6 minutes to prepare for our test. and it was absolutely essential and crucial to have a notepad and a tactical command sheet to prepare for this test. I had neither. All I had was a green instruction sheet with some information on there explaining how the process would play out and some other pertinent information that I would need for the tactical assessment. I didn't realize until 2 days after the test that I was missing these items. It was in talking to other candidates that they conveyed that they had these items. Furthermore, the proctor was sitting right at me. It was the proctor's responsibility, not the candidates, to have the proper material provided. The proctor could clearly see that I was sitting in the front of the room with nothing but an instructional sheet. When I went in to do my tactical assessment, the material that I should have had in the prep room was provided for me in the tactical assessment. At that point, it was too late because I started the tactical assessment. I had no time to prepare. And the only plausible reason for this is that the testing company did not provide me the proper material or verify that all the candidates had the material, and they then placed this material into the assessment when I took the actual test. And I know this because I've talked to well over 20 other candidates, and they all had the material in advance. So the testing company did this intentionally because they did not provide me the proper material. Additionally, had I had spoken up in the prep room, I would have disrupted the process. They would have had to give me the material. The clock was ticking. That time would have been lost, and the other candidates would have been adversely affected by this as myself. So in closing, as a remedy, I am requesting that I either be retested, and if there's difficulty with that, I ask that my score be amended to take into consideration that I was not provided the proper testing material and in order to be able to prepare for this to the best possible ability of myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there, can we hear from either the city or the testing company?
Chair Flickinger, I have a question.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, were you provided the candidate orientation handout, the handbook?
Yes, I have this. It was provided via SharePoint through the Division of Fire. I have the handout right here in my hand. Yes.
Yeah, and were you provided that in advance?
Yes, I was.
Okay, thank you.
If the city or city's representation from the testing company could please speak to the item.
Josie Herman from NTN will represent the company, so she can give you a little bit of background on the testing and the procedure.
Thank you, Rashawn. All candidates were given the candidate orientation handout ahead of the process. All candidates were given the same handout. Candidate Pusateri referenced the statement, you're not allowed to bring documents in. The additional statement that it reads, you're not allowed to bring any documents into your tactical assessment. You will be given a brief prep time prior to entering the assessment. Pen, pencil, and paper will be available during the prep time. Any notes or worksheets created during the prep time are allowed in the assessment room. At the time of testing, the proctor sat the candidates two by two. There were 4 candidates in the room. There were 2 desks next to each other, and then behind that, there were another 2 desks behind that. So given the setup, and if there were 4 candidates in the room, they would have sat 2 by 2. The proctor did not have a time limit for reading the instructions to the candidate. The time limit started after they read the instructions. In the instructions, the proctor read, the candidates were told if they're missing any test materials to notify the proctor. It wasn't until after the proctor instructions were read that the candidate's time, the 6 minutes for preparing, was started. After the testing or after the preparation period, the candidates went before the assessors. The assessors were not provided with the tactical worksheets to hand out to candidates as that was given during the preparation period. We were not made aware of any situation where anyone from our staff provided additional information to assessors or candidates once they entered the testing room.
If I could make a correction on something, sitting as the NTN representative said, I did not sit 2 by 2. I was sitting in front. The other 3 candidates were behind me. So I could not see any materials that they had. So that is incorrect that we were placed 2 by 2.
And I have a question, Ms. Herman. I've taken a lot of tests in my life. So help me out. This prep, I'm not, this seems a little strange to me. So you can't bring anything, no pencils, no anything. So you go in the prep. What is the purpose of the prep?
Prep
The
period.
6 minutes.
Sure. It's very common during promotional testing to give candidates some sort of preparation period depending upon the exercise. It's common for our tactical exercises for the candidates to receive a short preparation period ahead of time. The preparation instructions have been provided to the commission, and in the instructions, it just gives an overview of the exercise as well as a brief introduction to the conditions of the tactical exercise. It also gives candidates a time to take any notes they would like before preparing for the process, and then they can take anything during the preparation period in with them before the tactical assessors. Candidates are told, though, that they are only graded on what they verbally say. They are not graded on anything they write down.
So who from the test was responsible, if I understand it, in this proctor session? Someone from the testing company should have provided what, pens and a pen and paper for notes. Is that correct?
All candidates were provided during the battalion chief with writing utensils, a notepad, candidate instructions, and a tactical worksheet. It was communicated you will have time to prepare for the tactical exercise. In front of you, there is the exercise instructions, a tactical command worksheet, writing utensils, and scratch paper. Please raise your hand if you're missing any materials.
And who from your company did that, and if they confirmed that they followed that procedure?
Yes, the individual is Jeff Roberts. He is our tactical consultant, and he confirmed that he provided all materials to candidates and read the proctor script word for word for each group that came into prep. We also asked the assessor panel who evaluated candidate Pusateri, and they stated that they did not observe any candidates missing any documents during the tactical on February 19th. And no candidate indicated they were missing any documentation.
Is this,
I'm sorry.
I just have one question, and then I would like Mr. Pusateri, I realize I just want to ask this one question. Is this, with this prep time, it's unfamiliar to me, you know, that process, but is this pretty standard in test of this nature, that there's a prep time? You can't bring anything in, but basically you can use that 6 minutes to make notes and prepare for when you go into the actual test. Is this pretty much standard in the tests that you do?
Yes, candidates cannot bring any outside materials into the testing process to ensure consistency. They can bring the information from their prep period in with them to the exercise before the assessors. This is standard. While every promotional process can be different depending upon the exercises and the content, there are many exercises where candidates are given a preparation period and then they go before the assessor panel to present their responses.
Mr. Pusateri, I know you had a response. Please let us know a little more.
So this representative from NTN, she was not in the prep room, obviously. The proctor could clearly see that I did not have the materials that were supposed to be provided for me. And the assessors who assessed my tactical exam also can verify that the tactical command sheet and the notepad that I should have had in the prep room were provided to me during the tactical exercise itself. That did me no good because I had no time to prepare for anything because the exercise commenced and I had to pay attention to the exercise as it evolved. and I did not have time to prepare. I had to go in the moment. So the bottom line is that I should have received a notepad and I should have received a tactical command sheet. We were not sitting 2 by 2 as this person from NTN is alleging. I sat in front behind the other 3 candidates. The proctor could clearly see that I did not have the proper materials that I should have been provided for. And the prep time is everything as far as the test. We only had 6 minutes to prepare, to get ready, and having had that prep material would have helped exponentially as far as my performance for this test.
Did either party, I believe we tabled this for a specific reason because we had one story saying the exact opposite of the other story. Has either party reached out to any of the other 3 people who were taking the test with Mr. Pusateri to determine whether the information or the instructions were given in accordance with how they were supposed to be, and if there was material, if they were missing material? Has anybody reached out to the third party to bring them in front of us today to give us the information we tabled this for?
I have, and I also provided Civil Service a notarized copy from another candidate in the room stating that he had the material that I described. That's been submitted to the Office of Civil Service by myself.
Right, I'm aware that they have the information, but have we had them corroborate your story that the instructions were not given to raise your hand if you didn't have the material, and whether or not that there was material missing from one of the desks?
I was not given any list of exactly what we were supposed to have.
But the instructions did state that raise your hand if you're missing materials, and if you didn't have anything on your desk, that would be something that you raise your hand. But you attested last time that those instructions weren't given, so you didn't hear them. So I'm asking if there was a third party that can corroborate either party's story at this time. And I think I know the answer because nobody's on the call that can speak to that.
Correct.
I feel like that's the whole reason we tabled this last time.
Are there any other questions from the commission? Are we ready to go back into the general session?
I believe we are in general session. I don't think we went to executive session for this.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long morning.
Okay, just trying to do. For agenda item number 10, do we have a motion?
I'm gonna go agenda 8 because on mine is revised to agenda 8, and I will make a motion to deny the procedural protest.
I second that. All in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 10 to deny the request is approved. Agenda item number 11. Rejection of applicant's 5-day no appeal for the classifications of airport operations agent open, carpenter open, junior clerk open, plasterer open, public health sanitarian open, police radio dispatcher open, roofer open, safety telephone operator open.
Motion to approve. Patton.
Second, Lee.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 11 is approved. Before I go to item number 12, if there's anyone that's still on the call for previous issues, you are certainly willing to, or you certainly can leave the call if you would like. Agenda item number 12, approval of the final eligible list for the classifications of airport operations agent open, carpenter open, chief radio dispatcher open, firefighter amended open, junior clerk open, patrol officer amended open, plasterer open, public health sanitarian open, Police radio dispatcher open, roofer open, safety telephone operator open.
Motion to approve.
Second, Patton.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 12 is approved. Agenda item 13, consideration of the following bulletins. The only one I have on my list is landscape designer open.
Motion to approve, Patton.
Second, Lee.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 13 is approved. I have no other items listed on my agenda sheet. Is that correct?
This is
Rashani?
correct.
Correct.
That is correct. Seeing none, the meeting for civil service meeting for March 22nd, 2024 has concluded. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
you all.
you.
Have a good
Thank you.
weekend.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.